The new anime this season is airing in a much more organised fashion than I'm used to. I had 4 episodes on Wednesday, and again 4 episodes today on Friday. But are today's episodes any good? And was the much delayed World's End Harem worth the wait? We'll find out. Well, I already have since I watched them, and I'm recording this video for you now, so hopefully you can find out. And join me again as I look at 4 more new shows. Because this is a 2022 winter anime preview, from a different perspective. First up, we have a prize for the most delayed anime of the season. Welcome to World's End Harem, an anime which is basically hentai, just with none with sex. Well, not visibly anyway. World's End Harem is an anime about a guy who lives in a futuristic world where everybody has everything they need, nobody needs to work for everything, unless they really want to, in which case they can, but it doesn't really change anything. Sadly, disease is still a thing, but most diseases can be cured within 4 or 5 years, and we can just go into deep sleep while we wait for a cure to be found. Such happens with our main character, Reito, as he has a disease which there is no cure for, but there's a cure in the works. And so he leaves behind his beloved Erisa and his family, goes into deep sleep, and wakes up hoping they find a cure for him. Sadly, in the 5 years he's been asleep, the shit hits a fan. There's a global pandemic. That would never happen, not in real world. Well, this global pandemic, rather than being a horrible virus, it's a man-killer virus, which, honestly, I would hate that more, unless I get the immunity like he does. Because, lo and behold, our main character has protagonist disorder, otherwise known as being immune from the thing which kills all of men. And so he's one of only about 4 or 5 men left in all of humanity. The world population's been decimated from 10 billion down to 5 billion and 5. And suddenly, he finds himself the object of pretty much everybody in humanity's affection. As pretty much all women in existence haven't been able to have any for the last 5 years, suddenly see a guy and think, yeah, I would. Also has the whole financial package that if you become pregnant with potential to save humanity, you'll be set for life. And of course, all our main character wants to do, he wants to find the girl of his dreams, the girl who he left his locket with before he went into deep sleep. Plot point there, by the way. Now, the premise of this one is okay, with a huge, massive but. I'm not about the butt which is shoved in our face every 5 seconds of the other main female character, Mira, who's blatantly connected to Arisa. You can see it in the eye colour, you can see it in the hair, see it in the body type. Very blatantly connected somehow, no idea how. I wouldn't put it past them saying that it's actually her with her memories altered. But for whatever reason, she's been designated his secretary effectively, saying, okay, we'll help you look for your girl, as long as you can resist the attractions of these beautiful women that we're going to let loose upon you every single night. Now if this was the start of a hentai series, we would know exactly where this one's going to go. And to be honest, we kind of do anyway, because it's going to go in horny directions. You can tell how horny it is just by the number of censor bars on the Crunchyroll version. I've actually seen both versions. The bit I actually screen capped for up there is actually the uncensored version. To be honest, all I really censored out was just some tits. There's literally nothing else shown. So if you don't mind tits, find the uncensored version. But if you just want to find tits, just download a hentai. You'll probably have a better story than this one. I'm not saying a lot about hentai. If you want to watch World's End Harem, you can find it airing over at Crunchyroll. And on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have Slow Loop, a cute girls doing cute things anime about fishing. Now if you showed me this anime and told me it was Dogakobo, I would have believed you. Sadly, this season we have no Dogakobo shows, so this will have to suffice, because Slow Loop is a very cute looking show, and I'm struggling to spending the next 3 months calling it Slow Start, not Slow Loop, because the names are so similar. I mean, similar styles of anime as well. Our main character this time is a super shy Hiyori, who likes fishing. Although she uses fly fishing, which, I'll be honest, I don't know about fishing. My experience of fishing is playing it in Final Fantasy 14, and in that you press a button, you wait a bit for something to happen, then you press another button. There's probably more to it than that, but I'm not an advanced fisher even in Final Fantasy. And the comedy and the silliness happens because we introduce another character, Koharu, who is this super energetic, super happy girl, as you expect, go along with Shy Girl. And it ends up them being stepsisters. This really does happen in anime, it seems, where two families merge together and siblings of the same age end up living under the same roof. Although most of the time you hear that, again, we're going back to a hentai again. But Slow Loop is a fun show. It's harmless, it's cute to watch. It'll distract me from other strings which are happening on Fridays. It'll be a nice end to the week. If you are interested in watching Slow Loop, you can find this one airing over at Funimation. If there's one trait which has been going around a lot in recent years, other than isekai, it's gacha game adaptations into anime. And one of the big name gacha games of recent years has actually now got an anime adaptation, likes of Girls Frontline, or as it's known in Japan, Dolls Frontline. I can only imagine why America changed it to Girls Frontline for a Western release. Now, this is another one of those gacha games where you're playing along with characters which are based on things. Obviously you've got the historical figures of Fate Grand Order, you've got the ship girls in half a dozen others, you've got all manner of different gacha games where characters are anthropomorphized versions of things. And Girls Frontline is another thing like that, where our characters are all firearms, guns. Our main character appears to be M4A1, who is a diligent leader of the AR group, not because they're alternate reality, but because they're automatic rifles. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know anything about guns. I know these names, some of them, from watching and playing gun games. And so our main four characters are M4A1, M4SOPMOD2, STAR15, and M16A1. And there's a bunch of other names they throw up onto the screen, which I recognise some as guns. Don't really know much about guns, but I'm sure these are going to be characters based on the personalities and the nationalities of their guns. Now, actually talking about the anime itself, there's not really much to tell. Just thrown into a random mission where our four girls have to go and retrieve some data and escape. We're introduced to the bad guy. We're introduced to some weird fighting maids. I think they call them agents. I remember thinking about, what is this, the Matrix? Could be actually. But rather than middle-aged white guy, they're basically maids who live on skirts that show four fully automatic guns firing from their crotch. Well, from their legs, but let's be honest, when they lift up their skirts, most people aren't looking at the guns. They're looking at the other ammunition down there, cocked and loaded. Now, Girls Frontline is going to depend on what you think of gacha game adaptations in general. This one's not the worst one I've seen. It avoids a horrible trope of here's a bunch of characters which you've seen in the game all in one scene, back to back, so we're trying to make it so your favourite waifu has appeared on screen. Kante Collection, I'm looking at you. But it's also not that interesting. It doesn't tell you much more about the world. I mean, there's these two sides, they're fighting and they're guns. I don't need to know that. I want to know what's going on. Maybe I'll tell me more in future episodes. I'll probably give it a little bit more, but it's not the worst adaptation I've seen ever. If you want to watch this one, it's also airing over at Funimation. You remember a few minutes ago I told you that bad mobile game adaptations throw random characters at you with rapid fire to tell you who they are? Well, welcome to Q, an anime which does that. Q is a very much different type of mobile game. It's more akin to the idle games like Love Live, which you see on your mobile phone. I've not seen it myself, not seen the gameplay, but I'd imagine it's not so much a gacha game in that it's a idle training game. But this one, you're not training idols, you're training seiyuu, voice actors who are voicing characters in the animes you watch. So you got voice actors voicing characters in an anime. But our main characters are all relatively new seiyuu in real life and relatively new seiyuu in the anime as well, because they're joined this brand new agency with no track record and suddenly given Hamlet to read to tell us what they're like. And I'll be honest, this one is cute. I find myself wanting to watch more of it. I don't know any of the characters at all, except the main one and the one she partnered up with. Those two seem to be the main ones. I think it was Hawana and Maika. I couldn't tell you for certain, but I'm looking at pictures in front of me, and those were two which jump out at me. All the other characters appear to be tropes of different sorts. You've got the sporty one, the shy one, the child actor, the one dressed as a maid, the goth girl, who's also kind of cute, I'll be honest. I find myself attracted to a goth girl many times, I'm sure. We're going to see they're working through the anime industry. Are they going to get their big roles? Probably not on the first attempt. We'll see how it goes going forward. Now, Q is very much a light anime. It's not going to win any awards for being deep and in-depth, but it's very much watchable. If you like anime like I do, if you like cute girls doing cute things, or idol shows in general, this may be one for you. It's not dark and gritty, but it's optimistic. And that's what I want on a Friday. If you want to watch this one's airing over at Crunchyroll. And so that was World End Harem, So Loop, Girls Frontline, and Q. A mix of the sublime and the ridiculous for a second preview guide of the season. What did you think of the shows? Let me know in the comments, remember to like and subscribe, and head over to Twitch to find me streaming every day of the week. Until next time, bye bye.